Just snacking on some strawberries. Strawberries have been lovely. Really nice and fresh. And good for us too, which is brilliant because my diet has been, even the thought of talking about food honestly is hard. So I'm sure I'll have done an introduction to this video already, but this is going to be hopefully a first trimester vlog. Oh my. First trimester is hard. Okay, so I'm doing a lot. Well, I say hard. When you've been through what I've been through, it's not hard. It is hard in one sense, but what I do to keep doing is comparing it to previously where I've been pregnant before and I've had experiences, but they're all different. Pregnancies are different, so I just have to keep bearing that in mind. This one was the first time I've experienced bleeding, which I've never had before, so that was obviously alarming, and that's why I thought I would start the video here. So I am, what day are we on? We're on Thursday, and I think pretty much my cycle follows, like, Monday's the start of a new week. Sunday, Monday is like the start of a new week. So it's quite fitting that that is like, right, I'm 7 weeks, 8 weeks, 9 weeks, that's how it's gonna feel. So it is Thursday for me today. So that would mean I'm 6 plus 1, 2, 3, 4-ish. And I have felt nauseous from week 5. Obviously I found out pretty early because, well, I knew from like 3-4 weeks pregnant that I was pregnant. I actually passed out and I woke up one morning and I was like, I passed out, and I said to Tom, I've done a pregnancy test, I've not looked at it yet, but I don't, like, I've passed out in the bathroom as I've got up. I felt fine when I woke up, went to the bathroom, passed out, and I was like, let me just do a pregnancy test. And then looked at it with Tom and there was a line. It was faint, but it was obvious. So it was, figured out dates wise, I was probably, yeah, not even 4 weeks pregnant yet. So anyway, the bleeding was naturally a scare, having been through what I've been through before, although again, bleeding wasn't an issue before. So that's actually the first time I've noticed it, and it's TMI, but what's a pregnancy vlog without being TMI? Let's be real. How do I describe it? It was light pink as I wiped, then turned a bit more brown, then there was a bit of red. So it's kind of like everything you Google in terms of like, well, what color is it? Well, then that means it's dangerous. That means it's fine. But what I will say is that it was light, and I've not needed to wear a pad or anything. It's just as you wipe, and it has kind of like tapered off. This has been like a couple of days now. It might come back, but it did kind of scare me into having an early scan. Not scare me, but like I wanted just reassurance either way, just to know what was happening and if everything was okay. I had also more pains in my left side. So when you have early pregnancy, you do get cramping, but it's not like period cramps. It's twinges, they come and go, and they can be across both sides, but I've definitely had more on my left, and that kind of scared me into thinking ectopic. Honestly, my mind has been like going to the worst place every single time, of course, naturally. That's all I ever know is like bad news. A bit gassy as well. And yeah, so naturally, like, I don't want to get emotional. Naturally, I just want to protect my heart. It's like I'm positive at the same time. It's really hard. I'm emotional as well, but what's new? I'm always emotional, so that is nothing new. Congested a little bit, which again, nothing new and is quite normal in early pregnancy and have had before. But it's also start of hay fever kind of season, so that's kind of starting to feel like maybe it's that. But anyway, it's not like a cold or flu, it's just like being a bit congested. What else have I had symptom wise? The usual bloating. When I blow my nose, sometimes there's a bit of blood. It's not like a full nosebleed, but again, there's just more blood in your body, isn't there, when you're pregnant? So I think it's like your blood volume increases by like 40 to 50%. So yeah, anyway, what else have I noticed? My skin has actually been quite problematic, which again was different to before, where I felt like my skin really improved. This time I feel my skin and my hair improved. This time I've noticed my skin being a bit like problematic, but I do feel like it's early still and that might change. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But yeah, I've just noticed I've had more breakouts. I think it's just a change in hormones, isn't it? It's just, I've got progesterone supplements as well. Supplements. Progesterone suppositories. Pessaries. So that also has, the nurse did say at my scan, my little 6-week scan, the nurse did say that it could be a bit of irritation from that. So you can use it front or back. I'll say it that way. I've been using it front. They said just use it back to help just settle my cervix if that is what's causing the irritation. She couldn't see anything on the scan about where the bleed might have been coming from, or she did say it looked like kind of old blood. So, and that it's so common. She said she's scanning women in early pregnancy on a daily basis, and every day she has people in for bleeding and they have successful pregnancies. So it is actually very, very common. But yeah, it's just new to me, so that was a bit of a scare. But it did mean that I brought my 7-week scan, because I had that booked in anyway, forward to 6 weeks, and I was measuring 6 weeks a day, 6 weeks 2 days, which was bang on track. So that's perfect. I have got a scan, rather than going next week again for a 7-week scan, I just want to try and limit myself to scanning no more than every 2 weeks, unless if there's a problem. That for me, I feel like is better, because I feel like it's less intrusive. They are internal scans, and I just want to, for peace of mind, know that I'm not doing too much down there to aggravate or irritate or disrupt the natural cycle system and how it will work. So I know that they're fine, but just for my own peace of mind. However, I don't want them too far apart, because equally my mind spirals into every little twinge and feeling and symptom to the worst possible scenario. So it does kind of give me peace of mind knowing that there's another date in the diary for at least until I get to, like, I want to say halfway in the pregnancy, or I mean, things could change then, but you know, just further along than what I've been before. Then I feel like I'll have a bit of peace of mind. Kind of, oh gosh, sorry, it just feels like constant nausea. I don't really drink, but it reminds me of like hangover days, like, but feeling really rough, where you feel a bit sick, exhausted. That's another symptom. Tiredness. I've been having the odd little nap every now and again in the afternoon, especially around like 4 o'clock. I'm wiped. And then, yeah. So I might even next pick the camera up, because I know that not much, unless if something changes, but not much is different from week to week. So maybe after my 8-week scan, we'll pick up the camera again and have a little update, see if I've got any new symptoms, how I've been feeling, what the scan looks like. But yeah, I'll just show you again this little scan picture. We did see the heartbeat, which you never know if you're going to see or not at 6 weeks, but we did. So that's the gestational sac. They measured the little bean there. I think according to the app it's the size of a lentil, but in a couple of days it'll be the size of a blueberry, so they start to grow quickly. And then by week 8, that's another thing actually I've noticed. I've been saying the odd thing or writing down the odd thing that is just so wrong, or like being really forgetful, like brain fog is a real thing. What did I do the other day? I put in a delivery order for a supermarket shop, because just the thought of going to do a supermarket food shop is no. The thought of cooking, everything, even talking about food, like I say, I just no. So I put in a delivery order with Tom, and he said, oh, where's the olives? After I'd unpacked it all and everything, and I was like, oh, they didn't deliver any olives. So I checked my order and I was like, yes, see, I did order them. And strawberries, they didn't deliver any strawberries. I'm like looking at the order. I'm like, I'm gonna have to, let me just check if there's anything else. And I was like, no, I remember unpacking everything else, that's fine. Anyway, I open the fridge, strawberries and olives are there. I'm like, oh wait, so I did unpack them. I've just totally, it's just completely been wiped from my brain that I did that. Things like that. Or I journal every day in my daily journal, and I noticed the other day, you kind of date it, so 20 and then you do the year 26. I'd put 29 the previous day. And I even circled it and went, oops, baby brain, because it's not 2029, it's 2026. But yeah, anyway, that's my little update for now. Little update, I've had a chatty update. So I'll probably chat with you guys and have another catch up in a couple of weeks. Hello guys. It's a couple of weeks later, I've just started doing a bit of makeup, and then I had to pit stop, run down, grab some crumpets just to keep me topped up, because let me tell you, these last couple of weeks, nausea's not been great. It's just constant, like, actually I tell a lie, I say constant. There was actually 2 days, I want to say, where it eased. So then obviously my mind's thinking, why is it easing? Let me just catch my breath. I've had a cold as well this last week, and that's when it eased as well. Like the 2 days that I was really bad with my cold, the sickness eased, and I just thought, oh, well, it is what it is. But then the like illness kind of, because you can't have Lemsips or anything, but the illness kind of eased from that, my cold, and then as it eased, the nausea came back. I had my 8-week scan yesterday. Well, it was actually 8 weeks 2 days. So let me show you the difference between 6 weeks and 2 days and 8 weeks. Quite the difference. So yeah, we had that scan yesterday, all looked fine. Let me just have a little bite of the crumpet. At 2, well, like 1:30, 2. I definitely think the trick is to eat constantly. I'm talking every hour. So I feel like I'm eating a lot and I'm sick of eating, but it's the only way that kind of like curbs the nausea. Other symptoms, let me try and think. Let's just put on a little bit of makeup, because I feel like I'm looking in that viewfinder looking incredibly pasty. Oh, look at that little grey streak there as well. Give myself some colour, soon as though my skin hasn't seen much daylight. I've barely been out, honestly. I feel like I've been hibernating. I've just literally been taking Barney for walks, and that's about it. The odd time, there was one occasion the other day where I was like, said to Tom, come on, let's go for like a different walk, a bit further afield, go to a bakery. I couldn't do it. I was like, you know what? Get me home. I do think that was my congestion though. I just felt rubbish, honestly, and I thought, why am I pushing myself? Let me just go home and rest, which I did. And then, like I said, I felt better after a couple of days, so that's good. Just feeling so like hopeful and positive, and you know, like grateful for the scans, because that honestly is the thing that gives me peace of mind, even if it's just for 10 minutes. And after that I'm thinking, oh, that symptom's eased, or oh, this is new, like, oh, you know, just the anxiety and the like overthinking. Crazy. I convinced myself before every scan, I'm convinced that I'm going to receive bad news. And I think I will for most, if not all scans, just because that's just like what I'm programmed to think, which is a shame, but you really are robbed of that naivety when you've experienced loss, and that's just the way it is. But yeah, felt so nice to see baby yesterday. There was even a little bit of movement as well already that you could see on the screen. I'm really not doing much today, so this is going to be a very minimal light makeup, but I thought I would just chat to you guys, give you the update whilst doing this. I would say for me the worst of the nausea was weeks 6 and 7. For me it kicked in week 5, but weeks 6 and 7, like after I last spoke to you, where there was a bit of nausea already for a week, it just 6 and 7 just, and then 8 it seems to, I'm talking about it now and I say it's eased, it's still there. I've not been sick, came close this morning. I think that was more so because of the cold and like chesty and like when you're coughing and ugh, you know, without going into too much detail, that just kind of doesn't help. But little and often. Also, I'm sat filming most of my videos. That's been one of the hardest parts actually, is finding the motivation to film YouTube videos when I'm just feeling so like, the thought of like even washing my hair and doing some makeup, this has not been every day at all. So it's the motivation to know what to film as well, because I'm literally doing nothing all day every day. Yeah. I'm sat here with my jeans undone during every filming. Like they can do up, but I'm just more bloated. This is like at 8 weeks. It's not too dissimilar to normal, it's just uncomfortable to have anything tight done up. So even leggings are uncomfortable. I've had no more bleeding. I can't remember, did I tell you my last update that I had a bit of bleeding? That's now stopped, touch wood. I'm actually taking progesterone, and I spoke to the doctor yesterday to, well, they called me after the scan and they said, just given your history and the fact that you've bled at the start of this pregnancy, we want to carry you on the progesterone, not just until week 12, but until week 16. So that's a bit of an update, which is fine. More than happy to carry on that, like whatever's best. Next week, I've got my NHS booking appointment, which is where you go in and you do loads of questions and have your bloods taken. And then the week after that, I've got my Iona NIPT NIPT test, which is a scan and a blood test. So I'll be able to see another scan photo and show you that then. But apart from that, that is me at 8 weeks plus 3 days. Just hanging on in there. Hello guys, I thought I'd just come in my filming room for a bit of an update. I am 9 weeks, hold on, let me see. I think I'm 9 weeks, 3 days-ish. I've just had my booking appointment, just come back from the hospital. Tom came with me and thank goodness he did, because, oh, what a morning I've had. Oh, honestly, almost, I've had up and down days where some days it's been just as bad as week 6 and 7, whereas then it was like every day. And some days it does feel like it's eased slightly. Same with like sore boobs, they're slightly eased. Still there, but a bit more like I can tell my body is heading towards, thank God, because every day feels like a week at this point, the end of the first trimester. So, I mean, symptoms are positive signs, so that's what I keep saying to myself. But in your booking appointment, you go through like all your medical history, previous pregnancies, family history, just all sorts. And then they do blood pressure, height, weight, and then they take your bloods, which I've always been a bit funny about blood tests. But, you know, I've had a few over the last couple of years, so, and I have been okay. I've not enjoyed them, but I've just looked away and carried on. Today, as you might be able to tell, I'm in this dress. We're in a bit of a heat wave at the minute, and I don't know if that's what set me off or not, but anyway, we went in, and it also took her a couple of attempts, so maybe that's what threw me, but anyway, I ended up fainting. Oh, she thankfully had done the blood test and just finished, and then I was feeling a bit like woozy, so they said, "Do you want some water and some ginger biscuits?" And I was like, "Yes, please." And then they brought it over, I held it, and the next thing I know, I woke up and the water was all over my dress. So it completely soaked me. At first I was like, oh God, I've not wet myself, have I? No, it's just my water spilt everywhere. Which actually in this heat was quite refreshing because the hospital was quite warm. But anyway, fainted. Tom came in, thankfully, and like we walked to the car. I was feeling queasy anyway, obviously with morning sickness and nausea. And then en route home, TMI, and I don't even like talking about it, but en route home we had to pull over the car. So that is the first time that I've been physically sick, and I do think it's because I had all these things, like the fainting. If you've ever fainted, it does make you feel a bit queasy, so I think that just through the heat, everything. Anyway, so I'm back. We've got a little bounty pack which comes with a few different like leaflets and information about pregnancy and things that you can eat, can't eat, things to expect throughout your pregnancy journey. A couple of freebies in here as well. I've got a little baby shampoo and wash from Child's Farm, and a pack of Pregnant Care. I'm actually taking the Wild Nutrition supplements. I have been taking the fertility ones now for maybe like 2 years by this point, a year and a half, 2 years. So I just transitioned naturally onto the ones for new mother and pregnancy. And I also have the omega-3 as well that they do. Some paperwork which got wet through because I was holding this as I fainted and dropped my water everywhere. But this is just for, it's an after visit summary for me to take when I go to, she said a 16, so I have my 12-week scan at the hospital, which actually I'm going to be more like 13 weeks or approaching 13 weeks. Blood pressure was pretty normal for me, 120/80. That's actually quite good because sometimes I get a bit of high blood pressure going into the doctors and stuff. I am a bit apprehensive now because I have another blood test in 6 days for an Iona NIPT private scan and blood test. But yeah, that's my little update for now. Nothing new in terms of symptoms. Everything's just like the usual. I will say I forgot to mention, like week 6 and 7 I have really heavy legs. That's now gone. I have had recently a really itchy roof of my mouth, which is a bizarre one, and I did Google it. It's to do with the increased blood flow and hormones and stuff, so that was a bit of an unusual symptom to have. Otherwise, just the main thing is really nausea all day every day, pretty much. So just riding the wave, trying to get through to what hopefully will be a bit of relief in a few weeks' time. And like I said, there are days now where I am experiencing slightly less nausea, or it's like after I've eaten, I'm coping better than I was week 6 and 7, so that's good. But then just goes to show I was actually physically sick today, so what a roller coaster. We're back for another check-in, and I'm on a bit of a high because I've just got back from a scan and all is looking good, thankfully. I also had a blood test and I didn't pass out again. Really good news. So I have just been in for an appointment where I have booked for a private clinic to do the NIPT Iona testing. Rather than having it done with the NHS, it's a bit more accurate given that we've had a history of losses. I just wanted to go private with this one and have it checked out, and we got a scan with it as well, which was nice. So when we go for the NHS 12-week scan, which I'll actually be closer to 13 weeks given my measurements, I don't need a blood test for that, thankfully, unless if something comes up between now and then. But hopefully, fingers crossed, it'll just be a scan, and then we'll be able to start telling the wider circle of like, our immediate family know at this point, And where in the past I've documented reveals and everything like that, I can't do that, honestly. So it's just been very intimate, like telling our parents basically, and yeah, just a couple of people that it's just a case of they know our history and it's very tentative news rather than woo, celebration, you know. It's just, let's just get to the next stage kind of thing. But I'll show you my 10-week scan. The scan photos are not the best. I feel like the video that we were able to see of baby was like really nice because we saw like movement, a bit of like kicking and arms. So this is obviously the head. We saw like facial bone structure a little bit coming in, body, and then you could, again, like you can't really see it in this photo, but we could see legs. That's actually the hand there, one of the hands. So you can see more, you can see that it's developed. The actual photos still look a bit like a bean, but just a bigger bean. Today's only a Monday, so I thought it'd be 10 weeks, 1 day. But I was actually measuring 10 weeks, 3 days. So baby is a little bit ahead, a couple of days ahead. Symptoms are very similar. I remember the first time I documented a first trimester vlog, I remember saying if I could tell my past self that this is what it feels like, I would have actually appreciated it, because for me, like emetophobia, fear of sickness, is one thing that really actually I found quite scary about pregnancy, is that like first trimester sickness, blood tests, things like that. Being pregnant and giving birth didn't scare me. It was that first trimester slug that everyone says is so hard, and I know some women are hospitalized for sickness. The fact that it's not just like a sickness bug, which is usually 24, 48 hours, it's prolonged, is tough. So that was a big thing that I was like not looking forward to. But now obviously I know what it feels like, for me anyway. And I have had a pregnancy where I hadn't had any sickness or nausea. So each pregnancy is different. But yeah, this time I've definitely felt nauseous, but I do feel like it's slightly easing. Hay fever's ramped up and I've not been able to take anything for it. And again, it's at certain points in the day, like I'm breathing okay now, but later on, or if we've had the doors open, which I have to have, that's another thing, because downstairs I have an aversion to the smell of downstairs. And again, I know I keep comparing it to previous pregnancies, but this just shows how it differs. I had a smell aversion to my bathroom, bizarrely. I couldn't go in my bathroom without feeling sick. Whereas this time it's downstairs, which is hard because I spend a lot of the time in the kitchen living area down there. But I just find if I have the doors open, but yeah, it does make me feel nauseous to go down there, which is, and like open the fridge. See, if I start thinking about it, I can start bringing on that nausea. So I'm not going to talk about that anymore. But overall, just feeling really happy that everything is looking as it should. I've got now about a 5-day wait for the blood test results. They're going to call me. There was the option to tick gender, and I didn't tick it. So I do think they're going to go ahead with keeping it a surprise, at least for now. Maybe at a later stage in the pregnancy, we might feel different, but I think we're going to keep it a secret and keep it a surprise, which is really exciting. I'll show you bump update. There's not really much of a bump. There is by the end of the day, which tells me it's all bloat, because I do have a little bit of a bump, but I am still only 10 weeks, 3 days, so I'll just show you. But it's more just, like I say, just a bit of like fullness, roundness, bloating. Like I say, towards the end of the day, it's quite a lot bigger. But we have a little something going on there, a little, oh my goodness. I've just seen a rat in the garden. Our neighbour said that they had rats under their shed the other day. Oh no. Barney's gonna have a field day. I'm gonna have to watch Barney out there, because that could be dangerous. Anyway, back to bump update. That is how I'm looking at 10 weeks and 3 days. These have been something that I've been snacking on. I took them with me to the doctors just in case I needed them. I've been buying big packets of these, but these are the, what's the brand? a C-band, is it? Or they do wristbands, which I actually bought and I've not really used. How much they work, I don't know. I do also have a TENS machine one, but again, I just haven't really reached for it. I've just kind of like figured, well, if I feel nauseous, I feel nauseous. But these are like ginger sweets, and they, oh, there we go, the brand's on them, C-band. In fact, I'll have another one now. But they've been quite nice, that kind of gingery. Having a hot drink, I've not really wanted. So I've not been off coffee or chocolate like I did the first time. So I have been eating sweet stuff. In fact, I've been absolutely fine with sweet stuff. Coffee I have had, but I've found I prefer it in iced format, and that might be to do with the weather getting warmer as well. But even like a lemon and ginger tea, not really wanting anything warm, just wanting ice colds. Lollies, ice lollies. I've been trying my best to find healthy options because I don't want to just have loads of sugar, but the refreshing, I've been having at least 2 ice lollies a day. And actually Tom made me in our Ninja Creamy, I think it's called, is that it, where you can make like ice cream and sorbet? He's just made it today. He just used fresh orange juice, so it's 100% orange juice, and done that. So we've got a pot of that, so that's going to be really nice to snack on. It's like orange sorbet. There was a brand that I did have the first couple of weeks called Del Monte, which is just 100% orange, but I've not been able to buy them since. I can't, they're just sold out everywhere. We're having a bit of a UK shortage because we had a heat wave in May. Then yeah, it means that all the local supermarkets have sold out of loads of ice pops, and those ones in particular I liked because they're just 100% orange juice, so I don't feel too bad eating them. That's me. I guess I will next update you guys on my, oh god, at the end of the first trimester, unless anything between now and then changes. Well, I suppose I could update you on the results in 5 days, but hopefully that'll be a nice, quick and straightforward. All good. But otherwise, yeah, I'll see you after my 12-week scan, where hopefully I should be measuring closer to 13. And then we'll be able to start telling our friends and family, which is so exciting. And quite a relief, honestly, to be able to just say it. And then before long, I'll be telling all of you guys, if you're watching this now. Oh, can't wait for that day. Oh dear, this has been my least glamorous vlog I've probably ever done. But hey ho, that's pregnancy. I've just blown my nose as well because my hay fever has been pretty rubbish, if I'm honest with you. Plus I've just got back from walking Barney, so nature is at its finest right now on this nose. Need to probably put some more makeup on, but I can't believe it, but I'm 13 weeks officially. I have just had my official NHS dating scan, which I've got some scan photos which are so cute. I think my favourite, let me show you my favourite one. Probably this first. Oh, they're all so cute. Yeah, this one's probably the, oh look. I got a bit emotional because I was like, oh, I've just never got this far before. Well, yeah, I'll say I got this far, but things were wrong. Everything looks good and is measuring on time. Still a couple of days ahead, if anything. My days have, although she did take a couple of measurements. The first one was measuring 13.3, then it was 13, then 13.1. So, and then she did a final measurement. She said, this is the one now, and it was 13, bang on. So we're gonna go with 13, plus I thought it was actually 13 weeks tomorrow based on my previous scan. So again, a day ahead. That's the only thing that's been measuring a bit inaccurately, is that as I've had the scans, is each time I've gone in for a scan, I've measured like a day ahead. But they said it's better to be that way than like days and days behind, which is what I've had previously. So all looking good. My Iona NIPT results came back. That came back all fine, all normal. And yeah, so officially, I guess, does second trimester start 13 weeks onwards? Around week 13 or week 14, depending on the medical organisation. It lasts until 27. Sources like NHS start the second trimester at week 13, and then in America it tends to be more week 14. So yeah, according to the NHS, I'm officially in my second trimester, which is crazy to say. So grateful, so happy. It was so nice to see baby moving around. They had their little legs crossed, and just feeling overall positive. So I guess my next appointment now will be week 16. I have a appointment with a midwife, where they'll check, or they go through checks of like when you start feeling baby's movement, stuff like that. I will say, like one of my last pregnancies, I have an interior placenta, which means it's at the front. She said it might be slightly to the left, but from what I can see this early on, it looks like it's going to be anterior, which can just mean that like you don't feel the movements until a bit later on, which is fine. Is what it is. And yeah, we've done it. Week 13 of pregnancy, I can't believe it. So I think we're going to start telling a few more friends and family today and tomorrow. I'm seeing my family tomorrow, so it'd be nice to tell them then. And yeah, just feeling so happy. So happy. I can't believe we're closing off this video here though. It has been... Oh, I thought that was a dog running up the stairs. It's just a human. I was adamant that I wasn't going to film this clip in this room because I feel like all I've ever done is film these clips in this room, but it's just a nice quiet spot to film. Upcoming, we've got our first trip. I was meant to go away around week 11, 12 of pregnancy for a wedding, an abroad wedding, and Tom went. He was an usher. I said, you go. I wasn't feeling the best. I have to admit, my nausea and symptoms, I would say, have definitely improved. They're still there, but far more manageable, less intense. Sometimes I have a wave and then if I eat something it'll go, but whereas before it was like all day every day, this, touch wood, it's not like that anymore, so thankfully. But these things can come and go, and I still feel pregnant, like in my boobs. My skin is quite bad. My skin's been quite bad. My hay fever's been super intense, but for the most part I'm riding that wave, feeling good. Glad the nausea has calmed down, because that's one thing for me, having like that fear of sickness is that. And I was only sick, touch wood again, because you never know what could happen if it could come back, but I was only sick that one time that I talked to you about, so it's been more just managing nausea, to be honest with you. But yeah, feeling positive, feeling good. I have no idea when this video is going to go live, when you're seeing this. I have no idea, because I haven't decided when I'm actually going to announce it yet. I think I am going to just wait a few more weeks at least. Bump, I suppose I could show you. Not that there's much. There is always by the end of the day. But let me show you anyway. Hold on. I feel like I need to start taking a couple of pictures maybe. But this is Bump for 13 weeks. I feel like the bloating subsided a bit. Maybe it's more, like I say, towards the end of the day I get a bit more bloated and it looks far bigger. In fact, actually looking in the mirror, I think my bump looks the smallest it's ever been. Yeah, when I'm bloated, I look pregnant. To the point where I'm even thinking, oh, I could style this bump. And then it goes down when I'm not bloated and I'm like, oh no, I'm definitely not at a bump stage. I think that is still to come. But yeah, that is my 12-week, no, well, I suppose officially 13 weeks now, 13-week update. So I'll see you guys when I next see you, whatever my next video will be. I'm just gonna love you and leave you, and thank you for watching. And if you're watching this and you're in your first trimester, I found these videos quite a bit of comfort, because I found I wasn't alone in feeling the way I was feeling. And especially if you're experiencing a first trimester after loss, because I feel you. I really, really feel you. You are not alone. Sending my love. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.